Now, to calculate the heat transfer of a reaction, you can measure it directly. You can use experimental values. Some reactions, though, are pretty difficult to measure and arguably even impossible to measure directly. So if you can't measure them directly through, say, calorimetry or something like that, you might be able to get around it using something called Hess's law. And Hess's law is a fascinating application of manipulating equations to get the reaction that you're looking for. Now, formally, this is what Hess's law says. If a process can be written as the sum of several stepwise processes, the enthalpy change of the total process equals the sum of the enthalpy changes of the various steps, which is clear as mud, i.e., even I don't hardly understand that, so don't lose any sleep about it. Let me show you how Hess's law can make a reaction much easier to calculate by using other reactions which are easier to calculate. Because Hess's law, the definition doesn't make any sense. clear as mud. All right. Let's look at some examples and stuff here to see what's happening. So here are two reactions. The first one is forming gaseous water. H2 plus 1/2 oxygen makes H2O, and the value for that is negative 242 kilojoules, but you can write the negative number as a product. 242 kilojoules can be a product. That's the same thing as saying exothermic. But let's say we didn't want to stop with gaseous water. We wanted to go all the way to liquid water. Well, a separate reaction, which has been studied, is gaseous water going to liquid water. That's also exothermic, but it's minus 44 kilojoules. And we would write that minus 44 kilojoules as positive 44 on the product side to show what's happening. Well, notice in these two reactions, water as a gas is a product in the first reaction, and water as a gas is a reactant in the second reaction. So if you add those two reactions together, H2O gas will cancel out because if something's on both sides, you can subtract it from both sides and it makes it go away. You end up with H2 plus 1/2 oxygen making liquid water, and the overall energy will be 242 plus 44, 286 kilojoules. So delta H for this reaction is negative. It would be minus 286 kilojoules. But what we just did here is an example of Hess's law. All right? We took those two reactions and combined them to give us another reaction, which was the formation of liquid water from hydrogen and oxygen. And we found out its delta H value, minus 286 kilojoules, or 286 kilojoules as a product. This is what Hess's law is all about. So most of the time in Hess's law problem, there will be some desired reaction. And for this reaction, that's this one right here. Like you want the reaction value, the delta H value, for taking the elements and making liquid water. So you can use two or more equations. Almost inevitably, something is going to get canceled. In this case, it's gaseous water. And when you do that, you just combine the rest of the stuff together. The energies will add up, and you're good to go. This is another example of how Hess's law can come in kind of handy. Let's say that you wanted the enthalpy value for the reaction between hydrogen and nitrogen to make ammonia. So 3H2 plus N2 making 2NH3. And you have these two delta H values. And the first one is the value for making hydrazine, N2H4, from hydrogen and nitrogen. It's an endothermic reaction. The second reaction there is hydrazine reacting with hydrogen to make two ammonias, and that value is negative. It's exothermic, minus 187.6 kilojoules. Well, you can combine these two reactions in order to get the desired reaction, and this is what Hess's law is all about. Now, a couple of things. First of all, notice that we don't want N2H4 in our final reaction. We want to have 3H2 and nitrogen making 2NH3. So right away, what I would consider here is you want to try to add those equations together, because N2H4 is a product here and N2H4 is a reactant there, and they're the same phase and all that kind of stuff. So when we combine them, the N2H4 will cancel out. So what we'll do is we don't want any N2H4 in our final equation, so let's just add equations 1 and 2 together. Now what I'm showing right here is all reactants and all products, and you can see it's kind of messy, but there's 2H2 and N2 plus the N2H4 and H2 of equation 2, and on the product side you have N2H4 from equation 1 plus 2NH3 from equation 2. And why this is kind of cool, people sometimes see this better, you've got N2H4 on both sides. So in math, if you had an X on both sides, you could subtract X to get rid of it. Chemists will just cancel out N2H4. And so the pieces that are left then, you've got 1 N2, but you have 2 plus 1, 3H2, and that's going to make 2 NH3. And that's really what delta H3 is going to be all about. And to get those chemicals oriented that way, we literally just added the reactions together. So in this case, we'll take minus 187.6 and add 95.4 to it. And that gets us minus 92.2 kilojoules. So this is Hess's law in action, all right? You can see how this works out. You try to want to get rid of chemicals that don't appear in your desired equation. In this case, it was simple as just adding them together. No big deal.